Okay, welcome back everyone. In this video I will replace my Zero SRF belt. If you like this content, make sure to subscribe to this channel, give it a like and maybe leave a comment if you have questions. So I shared a video where I showed you how I broke this belt on Christmas Eve. Luckily on the second day of Christmas I was able to get a new belt from a dealer that opened up for me. So I have a replacement belt ready. I will quickly show you the tools that are needed to execute this belt change. And it's not that much because you really only need to remove this. I already unbolted the screws. This thing has to be removed. That's done by a simple hex Allen key thing. Need to release the tension on the axle. That's done with this 27 socket. You also need T45. You need to be able to remove the tension from these so that the axle can move forward all the way. It's already up front. It's up front because it needs to be all the way up front in order to put on a new belt. That's important. And you can do it with only this combination without an extension if you remove this thing. And that's why I also added this key so that you can use it on the back here. You'll see me using this combination just because I'm home and then I can reach after. But on the road you can get away with just that minimal set of tools. If you carry that with you together with a spare belt, I'll check if we can move it underneath the seat maybe, and maybe a puncture fix set, then you should be okay. So let's get started. You always have to remove this thing because it has 3 bolts, one here, one there and one at the other side. At the other side it's hidden underneath these wires, so you have to, well, wires, it's an ABS wire and the brake line. Then you can take this away. There is just enough space between this. This is the front sprocket and this is your shoe protection, and there is just enough space in between to put the belt in. And then in the rear it only has an outer flange, so in the inner, if you move it over this, you can put it on from the back as well. This, if you have that extension with you, you can always leave this part on and then you can just move the belt around there first. I have this stand with me as well. That's just for the final step. To release the nut you should not have it on that stand because then you can't put force on it, so you should have it on the ground. Also for putting the belt on, it needs to be on the ground because otherwise that gets in the way. But that's easy for the final step where you need to make sure that not only the tension of the belt is okay, I have separate videos for that, but then you can check that the belt tension is fine, and you should also check that the belt alignment is fine, so that the wheel is centered. And if you move the wheel forward, and then you can see if the belt is moving either direction, it should stay in the middle. If you don't have, if you are on the road and you don't have a way to put up the front wheel, maybe you have the center stand, because I think the SRS has a center stand already. So then you can put it on that. If you don't have it, just move a few meters forward, check again, change the alignment and move forward again until it seems okay. So let's grab the belt and try to put it on. This is the broken belt. You can see like these cracks. So this is a completely new one. I'll move it first behind there. Then I move it next to the rear sprocket, just so I have a little more space. It's important that you have the wheel completely forward, so you have to loosen up those two with the T45 socket. No, it's a Torx. But the easy thing is that you can use that Torx as well to change those bolts on the rear sprocket, and even those 2 or 3. And then in the front, move in between there and just go forward, making sure that the belt is next to the sprocket there. And I'll probably need 2 hands, but then you can put it over the front sprocket And with 2 hands it's fairly easy, it's on now. It's still very, very loose, but it's on. And then it's important that at this point there are some instructions from the manufacturer of this belt. You should not, like the way you put on a chain, you should not put it on and then rotate the wheel to get it on. You should really put it on without moving the wheel. That's important. And also you shouldn't bend it too much. But as you can see, you can just, because the wheel is completely forward, you can just move it over the sprocket by hand like this. And then that's it. You just it's important that you use these to move the wheel back to get the belt to the, because now it's really slack. This is no good. It will this won't work. You will damage the belt like this. You can put tension on it. When doing this, make sure that you move either side, so this side equal amounts on the other side as well, and also make sure that those blocks are properly seated, and this one as well. Before you really tighten this axle, also double check the alignment by moving the wheel forward, and then you will see the belt moving if it's not properly aligned. And then once everything, the tension is fine and the alignment is fine, if that's all okay, then you can put this to the right torque spec, and that should be 100 Newton meters, I think. But check your manual. If you don't have a torque wrench with you on the road, for instance, what you can do as well at the factory, there is here a white line and there's also a white dot here. Put enough tension on it, it will be close to this point, and then you just have to move it until those white lines match up. Okay, and as a final step, let's quickly check with the old belt if it fits underneath the seat. So, okay, as is, it won't fit because there is this plastic kind of bucket thing. But if you remove that, there is space underneath, and then I think it should be possible to fit in a belt like this. So I'll do some experimenting with belts and spacers to replace this. I'll report back if I get it working.